It's still summer, and the biggest buzzword of the summer in fashion is jorts, also known as jean shorts. I feel like jorts are very misunderstood. They're a punchline, they're trendy, they're tacky, they're nostalgic, they're childish, they're goofy. Jorts didn't just appear out of thin air. We know that it's a jean short, so it had to have come from a pair of jeans. The founding fathers of the blue jeans are Levi Strauss and Jacob Davis. This goes back to the California gold rush. There was a huge problem for the miners, the railroad workers, the laborers. Everyone's clothes could not handle the nitty-gritty and harsh working conditions of mining, of working outside. These like super sharp tools and long hours. Everything was disintegrating, everything was ripping apart, and they would have to mend and sew and patch their clothes. And that wasn't, it wasn't durable anymore. The quality was very bad, and there was this big problem. Strauss and Davis saw this problem, and they delivered. They came up with the original XX waist overalls. This was the first pair of heavy-duty denim pants, and this is what came to be the blueprint for jeans with the pockets and all the rivets and buttons and stitching and what are jeans today. Durable denim. So we know that the parent of the jorts are the blue jeans, but there's something in between that happened to make it become the jort, right? Like, what happened from jeans to jean shorts? Well, there was this thing that happened, and that was the 1960s. This is where the shift occurred. In the 1960s, the counterculture movement completely flipped the script. All right, you have these durable denim jeans for these workers, clothes that is very functional. Well, now I want my clothes to mean something and to say something. I want my clothes to make a statement. And make a statement against what or for what? People began using their clothes to physically show that they are rebelling against the system, the government, societal norms. It meant something to choose what you were going to wear, represented what your beliefs were about politics, philosophy, life, your worldview. Cut-off jean shorts became a part of the counterculture movement. They became a part of the rebellion. This was very heavily seen in the punk movement. You would see a lot of people DIYing everything. You are just using your clothes to express your thoughts, what you care about, what you are angry about, what you want to see in the world. And of course, this was heavily seen in the music industry. Artists like Patti Smith and Debbie Harry were these women pioneers in music, this new wave music genre. The punk movement was at its rise, and you could see it in their outfits that they're displaying this newfound thought of individualism and self-expression. While it's very easy now to reduce punk to fishnets and plaid skirts and just stripping it down to a basic aesthetic, it is more than that. The punk scene started to rise in the mid-1970s during a time of social unrest and political frustration. It was a reaction to capitalism, conformity, mainstream culture. So taking a pair of scissors to your jeans in your closet at that time was a way of showing that you were rejecting consumerism, rejecting societal norms, and being intentionally raw. You didn't need to be polished and clean and soft to fit into society for your thoughts to be deemed worthy and valuable. And now it's making its way towards mainstream culture. Daisy Dukes. I didn't know. That's where it comes from. Now, the jean short is seen as sexy, and it is now made into this clean and polished visual for TV, for the media, for the masses. Wearing high-waisted shorts and midriff tops now represented feminine freedom. You are liberated. You are not adhering to the societal norms, which was mostly femininity is very soft and should be modest. But no, now it is empowering for me to be able to wear what I want to wear, and women now were starting to wear more revealing clothes to express liberation. And that to symbolize femininity, it is all about being free and not letting anyone tell you what to wear, who to be. By the 90s and 2000s, jorts have evolved again. Now we are seeing baggy silhouettes, oversized everything, streetwear, skate culture, and hip hop. This is where we see the boom of JNCOs, and we start seeing all of these amazing brands, US Polo, FUBU, Carhartt. Now, today, we are somewhere in the middle. Jorts have been reabsorbed into every trend cycle over and over again, and every brand now, every new brand, Urban Outfitters, PacSun, all these like fast fashion brands are making tons and tons of jorts for the youth. I personally don't think that jorts are a crime, a fashion crime. I think the most important thing is to understand what you like and who you are and what you want to wear. It is very easy to get lost in the jorts jungle, but understanding what you have in front of you and what aesthetic you feel most resonates with you in terms of not only what visually is appealing, but also the meaning, because every aesthetic does have an underlying ethos of what you're portraying to the world, what you like, what you believe in, what goes on in your mind. I do think though, if you're choosing to wear a pair of denim shorts with a baby tee or an oversized tee, that already is a complete difference. And maybe you wear both, but the fact that you're able to wear both, I think there's something in there as well. I am someone that likes to experiment and pretty much dabble in everything in terms of different aesthetics from different eras of time, but I feel like that makes sense to me because I'm still learning so much about what things truly mean and where things come from, which is why even just understanding the little history of how jorts came into play into society is very kind of mind-blowing. There's an origin story, there's a birth, and it keeps evolving, and how people carry that on. I feel like I've matured now and my style is still nostalgic. I love keeping it fun and free, but I also want to be a little bit more elegant and chic, and I think it's fun to kind of play with the masculine and the feminine. Since denim jorts are deemed as a more male piece of clothing, it's not a traditional feminine piece of attire. So for me, that's like perfect. I love blending and mixing and balancing two complete opposite halves of each other. Here are some of my favorite ways that I would style jorts. We know that the classic denim in white tee is a timeless combination. Different variations of white tops will give you a totally different look. Starting off with the oversized white tee. This gives you that truly relaxed, laid-back look. It emits that off-duty, effortless energy versus a standard fitting t-shirt. My jorts are more on the fitted and shorter side of the jort spectrum, so it balances out the big t-shirt. And finally, adding a fun sneaker with a pop of color, to me, makes it look just more calm, cool, and collected. Next, we have my favorite, a fitted white t-shirt. Not cropped, not semi-cropped, just a standard length. It's not super tight like a Skims top, there's still movement and texture. The fabric folds in on itself a bit, almost like a soft scrunch, which makes it feel snug and cozy instead of stiff and suffocating. It's a soft structure, clean but relaxed. And I have a shorter torso, so I like pairing it with low-waisted jorts. High-waisted cut just tends to make me look short and stout. Lastly, I added a belt to bring everything together. It just adds shape and gives it that vintage touch. For this next look, I'm working with a light, loose, lived-in white tee. This silhouette features a subtle cinch at the waist and shorter sleeves, which is often seen in more feminine cuts. It moves effortlessly with the body, creating a sense of ease. There's also a nod to James Dean core here, that refined rebellion. Clean denim, clean t-shirt, just chic because the fit is precise and the fabric has dimension. The white tank top, one of the most versatile pieces of the summer. Here I've chosen a full-length cut, again, not cropped, which is key. I have an X-shaped body type, so proportion is everything. I like when the hem of the tank meets the top of the shorts and belt. It just draws the eye downward and creates the illusion of length throughout the torso. And again, we see that soft structure. The fabric naturally scrunches and folds into itself, adding texture without bulk. This is my second and final pair of jorts. My first pair were thrifted back in like 2021. And the tag says county seat. I got them from Goodwill. I've looked up the brand. They're sadly discontinued, and I always size up so they sit naturally lower on the waist. These, in contrast, are a more modern take. They're from cotton. Shout out to them for sending these over. I love you so much. The wash is a soft, light tan, technically not denim, but it's just as versatile. It's the perfect neutral that pairs effortlessly with almost anything. The length on these, just right. They fall just below the knee. I think anything lower, like towards the calf area, you're edging into capri territory. And the silhouette is baggy, but not overly wide. Too wide for me personally, just makes my legs look too skinny, and I don't like that. I also tried the high-waisted look very quickly just to see what the results would be. Simply shifting where the shorts sit on the body completely changes the silhouette. Worn high on the waist, the look leans more 90s. It's structured, confident, and slightly retro. Button-ups are such an easy and cute option, and again, just like the white t-shirt, endlessly versatile. Whether it's a solid color or a subtle pattern, playing with the sizing and fit can completely shift the vibe. I personally love stripes. They add visual interest without being too much. This particular shirt leans more masculine in energy. The dramatic collar and the boxier shape and the longer sleeves just gives it that slightly preppy feel. Next, long sleeve button-ups. I button as few buttons as I can. This gives the shirt more movement. I also love scrunching up the sleeves. Instantly adds texture, and it makes it feel like I'm ready to paint, garden, or just something hands-on. And there's a quiet elegance to the loose button-up. It's sophisticated, but it doesn't feel forced. Staying on the loose button-up train, this is the short sleeve version. It's a plaid pattern with a distinct 60s undertone. It reminds me of a retro school uniform. The cut is boxy but scaled down. It still has structure, but the fit is more petite, which makes it feel softer and more feminine. Lastly, this is one of my favorite button-ups that I thrifted by Madewell. It's a band collar style, which gives it that clean neckline, adds to the minimalistic aesthetic. The plaid pattern just reminds me of a summer picnic table, and overall it just feels very nostalgic. Finally, what shoes to wear with jorts? These are my go-tos, very versatile for pretty much any style, and they won't break your bank. A solid sneaker. Shout out to my beloved friend for gifting me this beautiful pair of yellow Onitsuka Tigers, an iconic silhouette. I know that dad shoes and jorts are a lethal combo, but if you're trying to avoid that, just stick to slimmer style shoes. I'm a fan of a good platform, especially a chunky loafer. Perfect balance between sleek and slightly posh. To me, I love the dark academia vibe to them. They're structured, a little moody, and a little polished. The classic Chuck Converse. They just carry that unmistakable Americana vintage aesthetic. I love the slight grunge undertone that they bring to a look. There's something nostalgic. It's just like a lived-in memory. Clark's Wallabies, such a unique shoe. They have a moccasin-style silhouette and a crepe sole, which just embodies casual sophistication. These shoes just carry so much identity. I don't know how they've managed to stay under the radar, but they're so timeless. Lastly, black flats. This is the perfect shoe for when you want to dress things up, but you still want to wear your jorts. I can't do the boots and jorts combination. It's just not my cup of tea. Or I just haven't found the right pair of boots. I am still waiting for the day that I get to own a pair of Margiela Tabby ballet flats. But in the meantime, any black flat is a beautiful thing. There's so many variations to play with. Pointed, round, square toe, heeled, bows, studs, lace-ups. You can just find whatever works for your vibe. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe. That would mean the whole world to me. Thank you if you made it till the end. Thank you for listening. If you have any questions, please let me know. I hope you're having an awesome summer. Peace and love, and stay wavy.